Hello everybody and welcome to a train simulator video. Today we shall be driving a Class 68 diesel locomotive from Edinburgh Waverley to Glasgow Queen Street. So the first thing we need to do is we need to turn off the dialog box. And we have the Armstrong Powerhouse Enhancement Pack applied to the Dovetail Games Class 68. So the first thing we need to do is press T to open the doors. And we need to press Shift and W to insert the master key. Cancel the automatic warning system. And then we need to press H to turn on our headlights. And then we need to press Y to turn off the driver reminder appliance. I for the instrument lights. And then we need to press V to turn on the wipers. The scenario we are playing comes with the Dovetail Games Class 68 train pack by default. However, I have edited it to include the Armstrong Powerhouse variant of the 68 as the player train. I've also changed the coaching stock which comes with it. By default, the 68 pack comes with some Mark II coaching stock by DTG. Though I have swapped those out for the Armstrong Powerhouse equivalent. So we can now put the train into forward gear and release the brakes. And departing Waverley Station, the starting speed limit is 20 miles an hour. Now I'm going to apply the brakes once again, just in case the next signal ahead is at danger. And it's showing a green aspect, so we can now apply power again. I've also altered the timings for this scenario in particular, as I've played through it before and I don't think the timings are achievable with the AP Enhanced 68, but this in turn has also altered the priority of the trains. So if you were to play this scenario by default, this Class 68 would have to cross in front of you, but now it's the other way around. In a moment, the speed limit will increase to 40 miles an hour. And I'm now going to slow down for Haymarket station. And here we are at Haymarket station. So our next stop is Linlithgow, which is about 15 miles away, and the speed limit is currently 90 miles an hour. Speed limit has now increased to 100 miles an hour, and this will be the maximum achievable speed for the journey. This is also the maximum speed of the Class 68. So the Class 68 Enhancement Pack from Armstrong Powerhouse costs, I believe, $11.99. And what this pack brings is enhanced running sounds, driving physics, and a couple of little extra features as well, such as the clag factor. So if I press Ctrl C or Shift and C, I can increase or decrease the rate of smoke that comes out of the exhaust. There's also the motor factor, which if I press Shift and M or Control and M, I can increase or decrease the volume of the traction motors. If I press Control T, we get thrash mode, which allows us to listen to the external sounds from inside the cab, which is very useful because the Class 68 does not have any physical opening windows. Just slowing down for this 90 mph restriction. And if I press Shift and 2, and I also press the right arrow key, we get the exhaust camera. We've now got a 80 mph speed restriction coming up, so I'm going to start to brake for that now. The brakes on the 68 are spring loaded, so they operate in the same way as the brakes on the Class 59, 66 and 67 locomotives. And in the simulator you have to press and hold the buttons until you reach your desired brake pressure. Bearing in mind that's on the Enhancement Pack. On the Dovetail on the default 68 it's a little bit different. What I found out is you have to press the if you want to apply the brakes, you have to press the apply button twice and let the needle drop down automatically to the desired brake pressure before pressing the release button once. And I've lost a bit too much speed there, so I'm going to apply the power again. One thing I have just forgotten about is the vigilance device, which can be activated with Control D. I will activate that at Linlithgow, sorry. Now going to start braking for Linlithgow. With the 68, I'm finding I'm having to brake earlier for station stops than I would do in a multiple unit. And whether you drive the 68 either by default or with the Enhancement Pack, smooth braking is certainly a difficult technique to master with this particular locomotive. All of our station stops can just about accommodate our full train. Of course, this route was made before the recent electrification of the Edinburgh-Glasgow route, which saw the introduction of brand new Class 385 EMUs from Hitachi, and also it saw the platform extensions to accommodate 8-car trains. And here we are at Linlithgow. So we've just stopped short of the end of the platform. So our next station stop is Polmont, which is about 4 miles away. And the speed limit is just about to drop down to 90 miles an hour once again. On the Class 68, the vigilance device sounds every 60 seconds. We need to respond to it by pressing E. We now need to slow down for Polmont. And here we are at Polmont. Admittedly, I did come in a little bit too fast there, which is why I had to use the emergency brakes. So we're about a carriage out. Our next station stop is at Falkirk High, which is about 3 miles away. Being a carriage out meant that we didn't receive the right away signal from the guard. For that to work in Train Simulator, we have to have all of the all of the carriages within the station. Now I'm slowing right down for Falkirk High, as the station platform is literally just after the tunnel here. And here we are at Falkirk High. These particular Mark II coaches come with a fully modelled passenger view. Really do like the detailing on this one. And it's nice and quiet inside the carriage as it should be. The dovetail equivalent uses the external sounds when sat inside the passenger view for some odd reason. Of course, I will provide links to the rolling stock I used in the description below. So if you haven't already got the 68, you can purchase it for yourself and see what it's like. By default, the 68, well, after you get used to the brakes, isn't really a bad train to drive. It's one of DTG's better first party models in terms of both design and sound. They actually went out of their way to record sounds from a real Class 68 for the pack. The only problem I find is that the sounds lack any sort of weight to them whereas the Armstrong Powerhouse Enhancement Pack adds that weight and the extra sense of movement. On the Dovetail 68 you also get the constant drone of the traction motors, which admittedly sends me off to sleep. Whereas the sounds in the cab view of the Armstrong Powerhouse Enhancement Pack is are much better insulated. Now got about 5 miles to go to Croy. I'll bring up the F1 briefing. I don't think we've got too many stops to go. In fact, the Croy is our final intermediate calling point before Queen Street. Performance-wise, the Edinburgh-Glasgow route is one of the smoothest routes I have in Train Simulator, and this is because the route builders, Thompson Interactive, only tend to focus on the scenery around the cab, which really does help with performance and reduces the amount of tail load considerably. Another feature of the Class 68 with Enhancement Pack is wheel slip protection and wheel slide, which I don't think have shown themselves in this particular scenario. I didn't get any wheel slip at all last time I played this scenario, so I'm not too sure whether the scripting has something to do with that. think I slowed down a bit too much there. But we want to be aiming to enter the platform at probably no faster than 25 or even 20 miles an hour. The regular brakes on the 68 only apply so far. The 68 also has a dynamic brake, but that is only used when the train is running light engine. And here we are at Croy. We've now got about 6 miles to go to Queen Street. Just thought I'd give you a good sample of the external sounds there. The Class 68 certainly sounds like a beast. Now I've got to slow down for an upcoming 85 mph restriction. In fact, we'll probably be slowing down further to 50 mph in a few moments. Just got a Morpeth warning for the 50 mph speed restriction, which is in force after the next signal. I'm just letting the train coast at the moment, as we are due to slow down much further. In fact, we're about to encounter one of the most challenging sections of the route, a 1 in 50 descent down to the platforms at Queen Street. As we start our descent, I'm going to have to keep an eye on the train's speed. This particular signal has a countdown marker to reduce the to reduce the risk of a SPAD or signal passed at danger. As you can see, I've dropped the speed right down below 30 miles an hour just to prevent the train running away with us. The next signal will be at danger, as we need to wait for another Class 68 to cross in front of us. The signal should clear once this train has passed us. Help if I put the train into forward gear before we move off. And that's the only little iffy thing with this route. It's the tunnel occlusions. And here we are at Queen Street. So I'll just shut the train down now. It'll just take about a minute or so for the scenarios to clear. And there we are, that's the end of the scenario, so we'll just check the briefing, see how we did. And we only got penalised for the use of the emergency brakes, and we only sped once. But apart from that, that was a very enjoyable scenario, so I would thoroughly recommend picking up the Class 68 along with the Enhancement Pack. I think it is worth the £11.99 or £12 for argument's sake. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you have enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed making it. And take care.